Hi guys, my name is Vanika. Welcome to my channel Divine Connections 99. Thank you so much for joining me, my beautiful soul group family. I love you all and I've missed you so much. Guys, today we'll be starting our third chapter and I'm really excited about it because it's one of my favorite chapters and its name is Karma Yoga. So, before starting it, let's set an intention for today. So, I pray to the divine, to the God and the universe within us and outside that, how Sri Krishna is now going to teach Arjuna about Karma Yoga, that how to do karma in your life. We also get that pure knowledge to, perform our karmas or our duties in our life. All right, so thank you so much, my beautiful soul group family, for participating in the intention. Now, let's start with the chapter. So, our third chapter, the first slok is Arjuna is now going to ask Sri Krishna that, "Oh Krishna, you have said that the knowledge is greater than action, then why do you ask me to wage this terrible war?" So he is actually, questioning Sri Krishna that on the one hand, you tell me that, knowledge is greater than everything, and on the other hand, you are asking me to do the karma, which is to do the war. Why is that? Why can't I just follow one path right now? So it's a beautiful question. He's asked him to get the clarification, right? Because he's now getting confused with all these, thoughts in his head. So similar situation happens in our life as well, guys. We will try and understand with an example that sometimes we are entangled into situations where we think that we should either do this karma or we shouldn't, and we should actually do this particular thing or not. And when we choose to not do a particular thing, this is also a choice, and we forget that this is also a part of a karma, right? What we are choosing here, the choice of not doing the karma is also your karma. Okay, so now we'll take our next verse. In the next verse, now Shri Krishna says, your advice seems inconsistent to me. Give me one path to follow to the supreme good. So he is now highly confused, Arjuna, and he is asking Sri Krishna that whatever you are telling me, it's very confusing to me right now. And it's it's kind of creating like confusion in my head, in my mind. So please tell me one thing which I can follow for sure and be firm with it. Okay. So he's asking Sri Krishna to clarify which path to take, right? And be firm on that path and then make it simplified for him so that he can follow the path. So we can understand this by an example. Like, for example, a teacher comes to our class and they are, trying to just write down the answers of the questions on a board. And then they ask you to just, cram it or, just try and memorize it. So, how often you will maybe memorize that particular answer for that situation. However, you will forget it after your exams or maybe even before your exams, right? But on the other hand, if you've tried and understand the problem to the depth, to the in depth of the you have gone to the depth of the issue and the root of the cause, and then you've understood the thing, then you would never forget it in your life. So that is why he's asking him to explain him clearly. All right, so now we'll take the next verse. In the next verse he says, at the beginning of time I declared. So now Sri Krishna is explaining it to Arjuna, that at the beginning of time I declared two parts of the pure heart, or the pure consciousness, you can say. One is a Sankhya Yoga, and the other, and which is actually the contemplative path of spiritual wisdom, and the other one is Karma Yoga, which is the active path of selfless service. So here the main word for the Karma Yoga comes out to be a selfless service, right? Where you are not concerned about your actions. The result of the actions. Okay. So he says what is he's trying to explain the full, first of all, dedication, right? So dedication, as in, he says that first we control our indriyas, or our senses, and then we get into God's path, which is called a gyan yog, which is like your knowledge, whatever yoga or the meditative state you've achieved with your knowledge. The second one is you're talking about, or is called karma yoga, where you're asking us to do the service or do the karma without concentrating about the result, and doing a selfless service. Okay, so that is the most important thing. So now Shri Krishna says after that, one who shirks actions does not attain freedom. No one can gain perfection by abstraining from work. So it's beautifully how he's saying that no one can actually just be like without can get freedom from the action, like they're not performing any karma. And no one can gain perfection by not performing an action as well. So there is like no choice for you, that you don't want to do it, or by not doing it, it's also a choice or a karma you're creating for yourself. So how he is explaining is, let's just try and understand with an example, that sometimes we have two paths to choose, for example, and then we chose one path, and then we maybe failed on that particular path, and then we think of why did we even choose something. We shouldn't have even chosen any path, or we shouldn't have done this karma. But we forget that, guys, the path where we get more struggles, or we experience failures, are actually the path where we learn so much about life, right? When we get success and only success, there is less learning, less chances. We've been exposed to the learning of the world. But when we expose ourselves, we accept the failures, we enjoy it, embrace it, that's the time when actually we start learning the things. All right, so now Shri Krishna tells him that indeed there is no one who rests for even an instant. All the creatures are driven to the action by their own nature. So he's saying, even if we want or we don't want, we have to do the karma. Okay, even then, if you look at the nature, it also changes. Nothing is permanent in nature, everything changes. So the most important thing is you should understand this and then do the karma. Okay, so we can understand this by examples of nature, like we look at the sun, moon, stars, universe, or you can see at the five principles or the tattvas, and we can see that all these things, they even the universe, minute particles in the universe, they keep on changing. Everything does its karma. The plants are doing their own karma, everything existing here is doing their karma. So there is no escape out of this karma. Okay, so we'll take the next verse, where Shri Krishna says that those who abstain from action while allowing the mind to dwell on sensual pleasures cannot be called sincere spiritual aspirants. So now he's trying to explain that sometimes people just try and portray that they are doing the karmas, and they are actually lying. They are lying to themselves and the world, and being in that that particular imagery world which they have created for themselves. And they try and live into that particular world only. So how we can explain this is, yeah, for example, we are sitting in a meditative state, or we are trying to sit for a worshipping or a ritual or anything, whatever you like, and then some thoughts are taken over by our mind, like what is happening in the kitchen, I haven't prepared my lunch, what will happen, I'm getting late to the office, or whatever things are coming up, right? So what is this all creating? This is all creating an environment of illusions in your head, right? So you're not actually doing any worshipping or meditation that time. Your mind is actually still in the worldly matters, and that's what is entangled and moreover on you. So guys, this is how we understand this particular verse, and we'll take a pause here, and we'll take take the next verses from tomorrow. So take care of yourself, my beautiful soul group family, and I love you all. All right, so take care and bye for now. Bye.